Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Alden K, for episode 39. We have a lot of Diamondbacks to talk about. We're going to talk about their last two series. We'll talk briefly about the Orioles series. The Diamondbacks took 2 out of 3 games against the Orioles, and they started a series tonight against Milwaukee. We'll talk a little bit about the game that's currently going on right now. We also have an update on Ketel Marte, who is still out with the hamstring issue. We'll see when or whenever he'll come back from his injury. Of course, with the Cardinals, the Calais Campbell signing has officially been official. So we'll talk a little bit about his press conference that he made in his return to Arizona. Patrick Peterson, Cardinals great, announces his retirement, and he will have a press conference with the Cardinals on Monday. We'll talk a little bit about the Suns today. Obviously, they were eliminated from the play-in contention, but it feels like they've been eliminated since the season even started. So we'll talk about how the worst Suns team in history did this season, or what they did do this season, if they did anything. And, of course, like usual, as we continue on to the NCAA baseball season, we'll talk about ASU, U of A, and GCU as we get closer to the tournaments. And when we come back, after we hear a quick word from our sponsors, we will jump right into the Diamondbacks. So don't go anywhere. Be right back in a minute. Again, you're listening to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Once again, a big shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket, Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Make sure to order at the website planetjerky.net. And of course, Vital Apparel. Make sure to use the IESR code to get 15% off of the merchandise. Take advantage of any discount you can get your hands on. Of course, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Shout out to IE Sports Radio itself. And of course, shout out to our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Another opportunity where you guys can use the IESR code to get 10% off. So make sure to take advantage of that. And of course, you guys can follow me on X with both of the accounts that I currently run. First off, with the IE Sports Radio account at AZ Sports Zone IE, where I just retweet a bunch of Arizona sports news. Sometimes I'll give my opinions on the games while they're going on. I'm primarily talking D-backs right now. The Sun season is pretty much over. Whenever Cardinals news breaks out, I'll give my thoughts on that. But as of right now, I've lately been doing the Diamondbacks. So make sure to follow AZ Sports Zone IE and then my personal account at the AZTRL, where that's my personal account. That's the unfiltered Alden K that you guys can get. So if you want to get a good laugh in, make sure to follow that account. And if you like the AZ Sports Zone, become a supporter. The link is right there on Spreaker. It's $5 a month. If you do enjoy the show, I would gladly appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys' support just by tuning in to the show every week and watching me talk Arizona sports. Even if you're not a fan of the teams, you're always welcome here. Of course, always want to stay in touch with the people who enjoy sports in general. But that being said, let's get to the Diamondbacks. So, yeah, the Diamondbacks, 14 games into the season, it's just I'm a little bit disappointed. Like I maybe I had high hopes a little bit too much. Uh, but 14 games in, it's looking like they're gonna be 7-7 after tonight's game because it's not really looking good right now. Uh, yeah, they're playing against Milwaukee right now. Last time I checked, they were down 3-0. I saw Eduardo Rodriguez was pitching. I kind of feel bad for Erod. It feels like every time he pitches, the offense just does not show up whatsoever. But last time I checked, it was the sixth inning, and the Diamondbacks are known as the answer backs for a reason. So let's not give up on them too much quite yet. Uh, but yeah, so they talk a little bit about their last games or so. Uh, so they did play the Baltimore Orioles. So when I went live last Friday, uh, they won against the Nationals. It was the first game of the series, and then they lost the last two games. The pitchers in the first inning have not really been impressive. Uh, Brandon Fott, I believe, was in the second game. He gave up, or wait, no, it was Eduardo Rodriguez. He gave up, I think it was three, maybe four runs in the first inning. And I don't think the Nationals scored for the rest of that game, but that was all that they needed. This Nationals team came swinging early at the Diamondbacks. They put up a bunch of runs early in the game that gave them momentum throughout the rest of the game. Our offense has been a little bit inconsistent to start off the season, and our pitching in the first inning. I don't know what it is about the Diamondbacks starting pitchers, but it feels like whenever it's the first inning, they just forget how to throw a baseball, and then they come back for the rest of their outing, and they all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, this is clicking. They That's exactly how it was with Eduardo Rodriguez. And I know D-back fans, respectively so, they're like, Eduardo Rodriguez has not really shown up this season, which he hasn't. But at the same time, I also blame the offense. It's just every time I feel like Eduardo Rodriguez pitches for the D-backs, tonight is a good example, at least so far as we're going into the seventh inning. The offense never shows up when Erod pitches. It seems like it's always like that when he's the one pitching. But this Diamondbacks team, they did take 2 out of 3 against the Orioles. The first game was a very bad game. Zach Allen pitched in that game, and he gave up 5 runs, which, I don't know how Zach Allen goes from pitching 7 scoreless innings against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium with the torpedo bat headline against their will right now. I don't know how Zach Gallen goes from doing that to being at home against a struggling Orioles team, and he just goes back to his 2024 season type where he gave up a bunch of runs early in the game. He loses confidence every time he makes a mistake. And that's not something an ace-worthy pitcher does. And this is why, like, I don't know. I feel like Mike Hazen is from the future or something at times because this guy, he makes moves that at first really make you scratch your head. But then looking back on it, you're like, oh, wow, Mike Hazen actually made the right decision doing this. For example, Christian Walker and Jock Peterson, they're having terrible seasons in Texas right now. And I get it. It's only been 14, 15 games, whatever you want to call it. But Christian Walker and Jock Peterson have not been having a good year over in Texas. Mike Hazen kind of dodged a bullet on that because Josh Naylor and Pavin Smith have been doing their thing. This is why I don't get why fans want to criticize Josh Naylor so much. The guy's batting 300. He has a good eye at the plate. He draws a lot of walks here and there. He hit his first run the other day as a Diamondback. So I never understood why, and he leads our team in stolen bases. Uh, I believe if it wasn't for Gino and Perdomo, he would be our leader in RBIs right now. So Josh Naylor is having a pretty good year so far with the Diamondbacks. I know people don't really want to give him credit for that for whatever the reason. They just have odd hate towards him. But um, him and Pavin Smith have definitely, which is, I never thought I'd say this. in this early in 2025. Pavin Smith and Josh Naylor have been doing more than Christian Walker and Jock Peterson. So we're early into the season. A lot of players are going through slumps right now, especially on this team. Gino Suarez has not really been anywhere since the Grand Slam in Yankee Stadium. Gurriel has had such a terrible start to this season. Jake McCarthy finally got his first hit against the Orioles in the last game, but before that he was 0-24. So the bats have been very inconsistent lately, and for a lot of batters on this team so far, the offense has been dead. So as I currently look up the score of the game right now, I'm sure it has not changed yet, and if it has changed, it's probably not in our favor right now. So it's currently the bottom of the seventh. The bottom of the seventh is about to start. The Diamondbacks are still down 3-0. Jose Quintana of the Brewers pitched 6 scoreless innings. You face Quintana, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Jose Quintana in the year of 2025, 36 years old. He throws 6 scoreless innings. Eduardo Rodriguez, he didn't even have that bad of a game. He gave up 3 runs. Well, 2 of them were earned. One of them was not. But he pitched 6 innings and a third of a seventh. And he gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and only 2 walks. Eduardo Rodriguez, and the loss might get counted towards his record if the Diamondbacks don't pull an answer backs moment right here. But I mean, it's not really. I don't blame Erod for this game. It's clear as day. The offense does not. Yeah. I don't understand why the offense one day shows up, next day they just get shut out or they get held to very limited amount of runs. But as far as the Orioles series goes, the first game really showed bad signs, especially towards Zach Gallen's part. The second game, it was a pretty good game. Merrill Kelly, he had a rough first inning in that game, but he was able to go through 6 innings. He did his part of the bargain. Justin Martinez saved the game. Josh Naylor had a 2-run double in the 5th inning that gave the Diamondbacks the lead, and they did not look back since that moment. And that's another thing too. Torey Lovello got ejected in that game, and it was kind of funny, honestly. Like, I don't even blame Torey for doing what he did, but the umpire made a very bad call. I believe it was Ryan Mountcastle for the Orioles who was at bat, or Adley Rutschman, something like that. And they did a check swing. It was clear as day that they went too far. And the umpire, I believe his name was Laz Diaz or Lays Diaz, whatever his name is, said that they did not go, and it led to a walk. And then Merrill Kelly got taken out of the game shortly after that. And then Merrill Kelly got ejected because he was chirping at the umpire for making that bad call. And then Torey Lovello, and then when Merrill Kelly got ejected, that really enraged Torey Lovello, and he got into the umpire's face. He was, saying a bunch of this and a bunch of that. If you guys can relips on your TV, he was throwing a bunch of curse words in there. It's like, I don't blame Torey for doing that, because that walk, it led to the Orioles scoring a run when they shouldn't have scored anything in that inning. But regardless of that, the D-backs did their part in the second game. They won 4-3. Justin Martinez saved the game. Justin Martinez continues to develop pretty good, and it's looking like he's really going to be a great closer, an all-star closer for us for years to come. And that was just another example of it. And then in the third game, everything was in the Diamondbacks' favor. 9-0. Brandon Pfaadt pitched a hell of a game. And, the bats, that's when the bats woke up in that game. Jake McCarthy broke his 0-for-24 slump. Josh Naylor hit his first home run as a Diamondback. Corbin Carroll hit a home run as well. That's another thing too. Corbin Carroll is making a case for MVP this year. I know, again, I keep saying it's so early in the season. We're only 15 games in. But so far in these first 15 games, Corbin Carroll, it's definitely not looking like he's going to be going through a slump to start off the season. Corbin Carroll has been doing such a great job. Uh, he's really been doing his thing this season. And, with Ketel Marte out, somebody has to step up and help him out. So far, I'm not really seeing that, especially tonight. But then again, we're only 14 games in. But the main reason I grow impatient with the Diamondbacks and them being inconsistent and like being at 500 right now is because if this team waits until July to become a good team again, they're gonna fall short again like they did last year as far as making the wild card. We look at the National League right now. You have the Phillies and the Mets in the East. Two teams are looking great right. I'm still very shocked that the Braves are 3-10 right now to start off the season. When you look at the Central, you got the Cubs and the Brewers, two teams who always compete for that division. So that's four teams. And then look at our division. Three teams in our division already have 10 wins this season. The Giants beat the Yankees today, so they have 10 wins now. The Padres and the Dodgers were the first two teams to get to 10 wins. And where are we at right now? We're at 7-6 currently. It's looking like 7-7. You just don't want to start. You just don't want to start off like that, and then finally become a good team after the trade deadline. And then by then, it's already too late. Like we can't be doing that this season. We really have to. This team really has to find a way uh, to just stay consistent because that's what they struggled with last season. And even in 23, when they went to the World Series, there were times where they struggled. But then again, it is baseball. Teams are going to go through slumps. Players are going to go through slumps. That's just how it is. But it feels like we see this every single year with the Diamondbacks, with Torey Lovello. This game was one game shy of making the wild card last season. If there were that one game where Torey didn't screw things up, if Torey had kept this pitcher in, if Torey didn't put that bullpen closer pitcher in, if Paul Sewald got benched like he should have last year and didn't blow several games, if it wasn't for that one mistake, the Diamondbacks would have been in the playoffs. So far, I've seen mistakes from this team already. They have the most amount of errors to start off the season, which is a complete 180 from what this D-backs defense was a year ago. The bats have been inconsistent. They can't hit a ball down the middle. They struggle against pitchers who lengthen the strike zone. And when it comes to our pitchers, they tend to struggle a lot in the first inning for whatever the reason. But that's what, the 162 game season's for at the end of the day. I'm sure that we're going to see moments where the bats are on fire, kind of like they were last year after the deadline. But in this National League Conference, you can't really waste any time. You can't waste any time to be a good team in this conference, let alone our division. I mean, I think that the Diamondbacks are a good team, but they're still fourth place in their division. And it's not necessarily because they're a bad team or whatever you want to call it, but just look at our division. As soon as the Giants got rid of Farhan, I mean, it's looking like they're going to turn things around right away. The Padres, I thought they kind of had a down of an offseason, but it's not catching up to them right now. Mike Schultz managing that team really good right now. And of course, the Dodgers, the super team that nobody respects, they're doing their thing to start off the season. But where are the Diamondbacks at right now? All I'm seeing is a bunch of lost and confused players right now on our team. And like I said, they just can't afford to start off slow like that. Kind of like they were last season. They have to find a way to stay consistent. Diamondbacks if they were to get into the playoffs this year, they would already be a wild card team. I don't see them winning the division anytime soon. Matter of fact, until somebody other than the Dodgers wins that division, I'm not picking anybody else other than the Dodgers. Last decade, it's been the Dodgers. So for this Diamondbacks team, a little bit disappointed in their start to the season. But at the end of the day, still plenty of baseball, and I fully understand that. Uh, I really don't like being patient when it comes to this baseball team, but uh, it's a very long season. We're gonna have moments at the trade deadline come July or August. We're gonna have there's gonna be times where the D-backs are playing amazing baseball because that's how weird baseball is. They just go through slumps and then out of nowhere they're on fire. But overall, the series against the Orioles, pretty good series. Tonight against Milwaukee, yeah, very bad start. Hopefully we can really turn it around. But we do have an update on Ketel Marte, though. So, yay, an update on Marte. Torey Lovello came out and said that Ketel Marte will most likely be out until late April, early May, if anything. For it, I still like when Ketel Marte got hurt. I did not think it looked that bad of an injury, but he's going to be out for a few weeks. Like this is, right after the D-backs extended him too. It's like, oh man, he's hurt now. So, but we have an update on Ketel Marte. He's going to be out until late April, early May, if anything. We definitely need Marte out there on the field as soon as possible because the bats on this team have been pretty dead lately. Before we finish off on the D-backs, let me take one final look. Well, not final look, but let me look up the score to see if the D-backs played answer backs yet. And the answer to that is no. It's the end of the 7th inning, and it's still 3-0. So for all I know, the D-backs might get shut out in this game. No offense whatsoever. They let a 36-year-old version of Jose Quintana pitch 6 scoreless innings against them. So actually, it might have been 7 just now. I don't know if Milwaukee even took him out, but yeah, it might have been 7 innings at this point. Yeah, his pitch count was very low today too for the short time that I checked. But yeah, the Diamondbacks, they really need to find a way to get consistent as far as winning games. They can't just afford to wait until July or August to become a good team again, because by then in this NL conference, it's going to be too late. We play in a tough division. We play in a very tough conference too. The Diamondbacks, despite having a decently good record last season, they still missed the playoffs. They had more wins in 2024 than they did in 2023, and they missed it. They had more wins than the World Series team in 23, and they still missed the playoffs. That's how tough the NL conference is. You can't afford to wait until July to become a good team again. You just can't do it. So at this point, it's looking like the Diamondbacks are going to be 7-7 to start off the season. They got 2 more against Milwaukee, and I believe tomorrow we got Corbin Burns, another guy who's been such a disappointment so far. So they got Burns, and then they got Gallen. Yay. If they don't turn it together, who knows? Milwaukee might sweep us with the amount of offense that's been dead lately. I don't want to think negatively, but then again, being an Arizona sports fan, I feel like sometimes you just got to be negative. That's the way of coping with watching our teams lose. But I digress. It is what it is. Yeah, just a very disappointing start to the season for the Diamondbacks. I thought going to the World Series, they'd build off of it, which for the most part they have. But man, just playing in such a tough conference sucks. Like if they were in the AL Central or let alone any division in the AL, no sweat. But fortunately, that's just how it is. We're going to go into a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to move on to the Arizona Cardinals. We got a couple news to talk about. The Calais Campbell signing is officially official, and Pat Peterson announces his retirement with the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Once again, don't go anywhere. We'll be back. You're listening to the AZ Sports Zone here on IA Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you with the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Big Mike from Indie Sports Nation. Come hang out with me each and every Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk things Indiana sports. We talk Colts, Pacers, Fever, Indy Ignite, and we dive into the college scene as well. Boilermakers, Hoosiers, Irish, Bulldogs, and every school in between. And we don't stop there. We'll sprinkle in some NHRA and cover the IndyCar series. From the turf to the hardwood to the track, we got you covered. Come hang out with your boy, Big Mike, each and every Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Indie Sports Nation, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone here on IA Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you guys are just now tuning in, I just covered the Diamondbacks segment. Yeah, very disappointing start so far to the season. They're currently about to be 7-7 with tonight's loss to Milwaukee. But who knows? Maybe I'll jinx them and maybe they'll pull an answer backs moment here in the 8th or ninth inning. 3-0 right now, so we will see. The game will most likely end while I am live, so I will give the final score update at some point. Before we get to the Cardinals, I see Brian is in the chat, our Beantown Sports Pound host. How you doing, Brian? Good luck to your Celtics, I guess. I know the Suns are, they're just terrible. So, but I got family who are Celtics fans, so I guess that's my way of watching the playoffs, I guess. And of course, Taryn's in the chat. How you doing, Taryn? Appreciate it. But yeah, let's get to the Cardinals. So a couple a couple news as we get closer to draft day, which is I believe 2 weeks away from yesterday. So a couple weeks from yesterday will be the first round. So probably at some point next week or the week after, I'll do my or next week I'll see if I could do a mock draft at least of some sort. Cardinals don't have a lot of picks, so doing a mock draft shouldn't be that hard. But regarding today, so the Calais Campbell signing a couple days ago was made official. He will spend his 18th year in Arizona and his second stint with the Cardinals. Still, I still can't believe that this signing actually happened. I'm still very excited about it. Uh, I just, growing up watching Calais Campbell, very disappointing how it ended in 2016 with, the Cardinals not paying him or, basically getting rid of him for no reason whatsoever. And then he went on to Jacksonville, did his thing there, went to Baltimore, had playoff runs there, and then spent last year in Miami, and now he's back here. So, a little bit about from what I've seen, things that he said regarding coming back to Arizona. It's kind of interesting. He also did not think he would be back in Arizona until last season. When he was in Miami, apparently news came out that the Cardinals tried to get Calais Campbell at the trade deadline of last season, but I guess at the end of the day, it just didn't go through. They didn't really make a flattering move last year or anything like that. They ended up trading for Baron Browning from Denver, who had a pretty solid outing last year for the Cardinals in a short time here. And they recently extended him too, so can't wait to see what he does next year as well. But overall, this Calais Campbell signing, he's familiar with the culture, familiar with the team, fan base. So this will be like he never left. So, and from what it looks like, this could be his final year in the NFL. Maybe. I mean, it's been 18 years as a defensive lineman. I'm honestly surprised he's still playing right now. It's kind of crazy, but uh, overall, I think that his leadership and what he still does have left can really provide help for the young guys as the Cardinals look to get back into the playoffs for the first time since 2021. Uh, with obviously another team that plays in a tough division. It's not just the Diamondbacks. The Rams are going to always be competitive. Seattle, we'll see how they do with Sam Darnold. And then, of course, the Niners, we'll see if they can bounce back, getting their guys back from injury. So Cardinals need all the help and the leadership that they can get, and Calais Campbell was just another addition to it. Um, I think he's going to blend right in with this defensive line and really be a good mentor for the young guys like Darius Robinson, Baron Browning, of course, B.J. Ojulari coming back from his ACL tear. Uh, Dennis Gardeck most likely won't be back on the team, which sucks, but we'll see if Cardinals. Definitely still surprised about this signing, but I'm glad it went through. I'm glad that at least he can finish his career in Arizona, and 2016 wasn't just the end of it. Um, Speaking of careers ending, uh, yeah, after I believe 13 years in the NFL at this point, 14 maybe, Patrick Peterson has announced his retirement, and he will have a press conference on Monday in the Arizona Cardinals facility to officially announce his retirement. So, yeah, it feels like yesterday the Cardinals just drafted this guy number 5 overall, and yeah, he's hanging it up now. So, Patrick Peterson was a guy that really did a lot for the Cardinals. One of our best, if not our best, defensive back in history. It's really up there with certain other guys like Adrian Wilson, this and that. But yeah, number 5 overall out of LSU, did a lot for Arizona, 3-time first team All Pro. He was on the 2010s All Decade team. So this guy's got Arizona Cardinals history written all over his career so far. His career, unlike Calais Campbell, did not end in Arizona, but at the end of the day, as much as Cardinal fans may have differences in Patrick Pearson now, and I am one of them, I did not appreciate the way things ended for Patrick Peterson as well in Arizona. Part of me as a fan did not really like Patrick Peterson when he was in Minnesota. Just, the amount of trash talk and drama that went on between him and Steve Keim, him and Kyler Murray. It's like, dude, there were times where I was like, Patrick Peterson really needs to grow up. But now that his career is over, I'm glad that it's looking like he's making amends now with the Cardinals organization. He's going to retire a Cardinal, sign a one-day deal with the Cardinals, and on Monday, and announce his retirement in the Cardinals facility. So at least some of this is coming to a good end. Patrick Pearson was by far deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. I know some Cardinal fans who still have odd hate for him may not agree with that, which is fine because like I said, his time in Arizona ended very poorly. But at the end of the day, one of the best defensive backs that the Cardinals ever had, if not the best. He spent over a decade here in Arizona. So it was, thanks for the memories, Patrick Peterson. Definitely was fun to grow up watching him play. Now it's all about who the Cardinals can get going forward now, who they can develop in the secondary, and see how it can go from there. But definitely just happy to see Patrick Peterson retire a Cardinal. And, it just feels like the Cardinals are getting good news lately. with this Calais Campbell signing, Patrick Peterson will retire a Cardinal. We'll see how this team does, but officially our eyes are now on draft day. Next Friday, I will be doing a full Arizona Cardinals mock draft. With the 6 picks that the Cardinals have, we will see what they do in the draft at number 16 and so forth. And I'm still not used to the Cardinals picking in the middle of the pack. It's it's kind of weird. They're not picking in the top 10 for an exchange. So definitely going to be interesting to see who they get. There's a lot of talent in this draft, unless you're looking for a quarterback, which I feel sorry for teams that need a quarterback and are trying to find one in this draft because there's not a lot of good options. But regarding the Cardinals, especially defensively, maybe offensively on the offensive line, and we'll see what they do in the draft. But there's a lot of talent in this draft. There's a lot of guys that the Cardinals can really develop well in this draft. And we're 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away now. So definitely can't wait for it. I got you guys with a full mock draft for the Cardinals next week. But overall, I like what I'm seeing from the Cardinals. I think that they're really going to improve a lot this upcoming season next year. And we'll definitely see if they can make a playoff run or not. I know it's an Arizona Cardinals team, and it's not something we're used to seeing. So we just got to hope for the best. Hope that this rebuild keeps on going well. And Monty Ossenfort, Jonathan Gannon, doing a pretty good job so far. Hopefully that can transition into the actual regular season of next year. But more Cardinals talk to come about. We're going to go into our second break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns. They were eliminated from play-in contention. The worst Suns team I've ever seen in my life, and that is saying a lot. And then we'll close it out with college baseball. So don't go anywhere. We're going to hear a quick word from a couple shows for our second break. And when we come back, we will talk Phoenix Suns basketball for probably the last time until next October. So, don't go anywhere. You're listening to the AZ Sports Zone here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone here on IA Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Just covered up the Cardinals, Calais Campbell official on the signing, and Patrick Peterson announcing his retirement. What a great career for Patrick Peterson. And of course, oh man, I, you know, just I feel like I say this every week I talk about this team. Just what a terrible, just a terrible season. One of the worst seasons, if not the worst Phoenix Suns season I have ever witnessed as a fan, which by the way is saying a lot considering I've witnessed seasons where they've won less than 20 games. So yeah, just overall pretty bad. And this was just another example of it. They were eliminated from the play-in contention. Not playoffs, guys, not playoffs. Play in. They just missed the play-in tournament. They are currently on a I believe 7-game win streak. Actually, they're about to win today. They beat the crap out of San Antonio. So, wow, the Suns won a game. Too little, too late. Again, I say this to pretty much everybody who talks about the Suns or this and that. They weren't eliminated like the other day or yesterday, this and that. They were pretty much eliminated at the beginning of the season. I did see this coming when Bradley Beal was going to be back on the team and when Mike Budenholzer became the head coach. There's a reason Milwaukee fired this guy, and even after winning a championship, there's a reason they fired Milwaukee they fired him in Milwaukee and replaced him with Doc Rivers of all people. So yeah, the Suns had a good start to the season. They were 8-1. So I don't know how they went from 8-1 to an absolute collapse. But yeah, they're bottom 5 in the West, and I feel like the Suns are going to be stuck in hell for years to come. And I think that even if they trade Kevin Durant, which is a good starting point, they're definitely going to have to trade KD. Even if they do that, though, you still they would be lucky to get 2 picks, maybe 3, in return for Kevin Durant, depending on what team is willing to give up a little bit for him. Uh, there's talks of them waiving Bradley Beal now. They're going to waive him and pay him all that money for the next year or two. So the Suns are in hell right now. And it's going to stay that way for a long time. It blows my mind that this team was in the NBA Finals 4 years ago. With an even bigger piece of crap of an owner at the time too. I mean, Robert Sarver at that time was a cheapskate, did nothing for the team, and they still got to the finals. This Suns team 4 years ago had so much potential. So much potential. That was 2021 of the Phoenix Suns was the best basketball year of my life. Watching the Suns that year was one of the best things that I could have ever done in the year of 2021. That team was so fun to watch. They traded for Chris Paul. He completely did his part on that team. Devin Booker emerged as a superstar caliber player even more. They got to the playoffs. They beat the defending NBA champions that year. They swept the Joker. They beat the Clippers. They had a 2-0 lead in the finals. I know they blew it. But this team had so much potential. And they get new ownership. They fire Monty Williams. And they trade for KD. Ever since they traded for KD, it just seems like they've gotten worse ever since. I mean, they were at least a playoff team the first year and a half. This year they got way worse. And that should be an example for Matt Ishbia. You can't just win championships by buying talent unless you're the Dodgers. Maybe the Lakers. We'll see if the Lakers can win with the talent that they bought or trade or whatever. I consider that bought talent, by the way. But yeah, unless you're basically an LA team or a New York team, you can't buy your talent to win titles. Look at the Mets. They're an example. Back in 2023. Look at the Padres of 2023. I know they bounced back. The Padres bounced back, but in 2023, when they went to the CS, they had a downfall because they skipped steps, they bought talent, and it just didn't work. That's literally what the Suns are in right now. So I hope that Matt Ishbia at least learned a little bit. I know that's why I don't bash him at all that much, because he hasn't even been the owner of the Suns for, I believe, like 3 years at this point. Maybe it has been 3 years already. It's definitely at least been 2. Um, or 2.5, I believe, to be exact. But at this point, it's like, as an owner, though, he's still new to being a franchise owner. So we'll see if he can redeem himself a little bit. This is why nobody wants to work for the Phoenix Suns, because they scapegoat a bunch of people as well. But yeah, I forgot about this ticker right here. Yeah, worst Suns team in well, not NBA history, but worst Suns team in Phoenix Suns history. Yes, I'm saying that they are worse than the teams that won 20 games a year back in 2019, 2018, 2017. This is worse than those teams, because at least in those years when Devin Booker was playing with like PJ Tucker, Eric Bledsoe, and a bunch of G Leaguers, at least we expected the Suns to lose games. I did not expect the Suns to miss the play-in tournament. I thought they would at least get back to the first round. Like, I'm hearing everybody talk about everybody. They're talking about their team in the first round. Oh my gosh, we got Knicks and Pistons. We're gonna get probably Lakers and Warriors. We're gonna get the Bulls and the Heat in the play-in tournament. It's like, you mean to tell me the Suns couldn't even get to that category? Very disappointing. And I feel like the Phoenix Suns are probably the most impatient I am as far as my teams. The D-backs. I've loved the D-backs from the very beginning. Hopefully they get their crap together. By the way, it's the 9th inning, and yeah, it's still 3-0. So yeah, they lost tonight. So hopefully the D-backs get their mojo together. Cardinals, I mean, we always expect them to be bad. The Phoenix Suns have a top 5 winning percentage in NBA history, and they've never done anything with it. So that's why I tend to be a lot, like, if you guys have noticed in these 39 episodes that I've been here, that's why you probably noticed I've been a lot more impatient with the Suns than any other Arizona team. Because they have a history. They have Hall of Famers, they have a bunch of great teams in their history, but they've never won anything. That's the only thing they're missing. They have everything except the championship. That's the only thing that they're missing. And 4 years ago, they were literally very close to winning. They were not that far away from winning a championship, and now they're back at rock bottom. So, very disappointing season. Hopefully, things really need to change. So we'll see what the Suns do in the off season. But overall, that might be my closing segment on the Phoenix Suns this season. Yeah, it's very rough. But before we wrap it on up, let's talk about ASU baseball. So ASU baseball is 22-12 right now at this point. The last time I went live, I talked about how they were going to take on U of A, which they did play U of A, and they lost 2 out of 3. First game they lost 8-5, second game 5-3, and then they won the last game 8-4 to avoid the sweep. So U of A keeps on beating ASU in every sport other than football, which is the most important one. So at least ASU owns them in that one. But yeah, they're 22-12 at this point. They're no longer ranked after losing to U of A. In fact, U of A is the ranked team now. So they're taking on CSUN on next Tuesday. Or wait, excuse me. They already played them actually. So, but then they beat CSUN 20-11. That was like a football score. That was like a football score right there. And then they're playing a 3-game series against Cincinnati. The first game they lost 11-7. And then they play tomorrow afternoon for the second game. And this is in Cincinnati. So 22-12 at this point, ASU baseball. We'll see how they can finish off the season strong. We're not that far away from the tournaments, so let's hope they can somewhat turn it around a little bit at least. But ASU baseball, they've 10 games above 500. They're doing their thing. They were ranked at one point, but as quickly as they got their rank, the quicker they lost it. So let's see if they can become a ranked team with the few amount of games that we have left. So now let's get into U of A. So I kind of talked about U of A a little bit, but their record right now is 23-9, so pretty similar to ASU. They beat New Mexico State at home 11-9, and then they're currently playing Oklahoma State today. We'll see how that game ends, but that game's been on for about an hour, so we'll see how they do against Oklahoma State, and then they take on GCU after that, and then they have a 3-game series against BYU. So we'll see how they do without their best player. Without Summerhill playing, we'll see how they do to close out their season. But yeah, so about 15 games in until the tournaments. We'll see how that goes. And then regarding GCU, so all right. So GCU, like the thing I like about college baseball in Arizona right now, like the teams have an identical record, all 3 of the big ones. GCU is 21-11, so a little bit less than ASU and U of A. But in their recent games, they swept Cal Baptist, and they scored double-digit runs in all 3 of those games. So the first game they won 13-2. So the pitching showed up, the bat showed up, everything about that game was perfect. Second game, it was 11-5. And then the third game, it was a little bit of a shootout. It was 18-13. And then they're currently playing Utah Valley. It's the first game of the series. Excuse me, I'm like losing my voice right now. So we'll see how they do against Utah Valley. And then they take on U of A on Tuesday. And then a week from U of A, they play ASU too. So we get to see a lot of Arizona showdowns in college baseball as we get closer to the end. Lots to look forward to regarding that. We're getting closer to the tournaments, so definitely excited. We'll see what's next for college baseball in Arizona as we get closer to the end. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for episode 39 of the AZ Sports Zone. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Brian and Taryn, for tuning into the chat. Next week, we'll continue talking about the Diamondbacks as we get further into the season, and we'll continue to talk college baseball as well with the Arizona college teams. We may be done with the Phoenix Suns. I may talk about them one more time next week as the season will officially be over by then, and the playoffs will be around the corner, and the Suns will not be in it. The next week might be the last time I talk Phoenix Suns until free agency or until they make a big move. And then, of course, with the Cardinals, we'll talk NFL draft for the Cardinals as we are 2 weeks away from the first round of the NFL draft. Very excited. NFL draft's always one of my favorite times of the year, even though the Cardinals will not be picking top 10. Definitely a lot different than what we're all used to. But once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to episode 39. Man, next week it's going to be episode 40. It's already been 40 episodes of me being on here, and it feels like yesterday I just did episode 1. So we're almost to a year of AZ Sports Zone being around. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We had 80 people in here. Make sure to like up the stream on the way out. And if you guys like the show, make sure to become a supporter. $5 a month on Spreaker. Greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, guys, see you guys next Friday. Have a great week. Stay safe. And I'm gone.